I gotta say, I like it when a manufacturer doesn't just do the same thing as everybody else, or even as they have done in the past. Welcome, everybody. Josh RV Nerd here with Bish's RV, and Alpine Avalanche is a brand that I think a lot of people have overlooked, and they have quietly been doing some really cool work. And floor plans like this, I think, are an interesting one right here. It's but it's a mid bunk, but it is not the same old mid bunk you've ever seen. First of all, it has one of my personal favorite big fifth wheel layouts with just that gigantic wraparound rear kitchen and the opposing slide middle living overlooking a freaking jumbotron that you can see from outer space. That may or may not be true. I don't know, but you get the idea. It's huge. They did it a little bit interesting though. A lot of middle bunks have a difficult time trying to actually wrap the whole family around a table together. And this one's not going to have that problem because it has like the world's biggest dinette I think I've ever seen. But if you don't want that there, if you removed it, you could probably put a residential size sofa in that slide. It is massive because the campsite of this thing has a mega slide. It's two giant windows plus the mega coffee bar built into it, which really sneakily hides an outdoor picnic table storage slot built right in. Now it's a basic camp kitchenette station, not even really a camp kitchen. This is a wide body RV, 6-point hydraulic auto leveling, massive front mega drop frame. It is stackable washer dryer prepped. Even the really cool little butt napkin hidden roller drawer thing going on in the bathroom. Give this one a chance. That's what I ask out of you. Before you just immediately cross off the list and say, nope, this ain't for me, look at what this one has to offer. Because it's got some kind of cool widgets in some certain places. And as legendary boxing referee Mills Lane used to say, let's get it on. Let's get started here because we got a lot of ground to cover, about 43 foot of it. And I don't even know how many square feet. This is a large RV. It is wide body. We have opposing just huge wide open slides, giving it a massive feel. Now, something else here, triple air conditioner. I think, man, I am just, I have to double check. I believe dual air is standard, and the non-ducted air, the one that at the top of the camera frame right now, I think that one is the optional air conditioner right there. And it just, because this is the biggest room of the RV, it's the one that might need the most cooling with the most windows. It's the one that can have the extra air conditioner effectively. Now, let's just start getting into it. Let's get into the good, the bad, the ugly, the weird, and everything in between. I'm not using a wide-angle lens. It's the Last Supper dinette, ladies and gentlemen. You could, I'm pretty sure you could wrap the apostles around that thing. That is a huge dining arrangement. Or you could take the table out, make it just a big old mega lounge. But also, in a way, it kind of makes sense to me because this is a mid-bunk model. If this was just a couples model, I'd be like, that's just dumb. But in a family-oriented floor plan, potentially, having that kind of space, I don't hate it. And the campsite window coverage on here is awesome. I also really like how they wood framed around all of that. Over here, also built into the mega slide, because this whole thing, starting with the dinette all the way over to that giant fridge, is one slide out, rack and pinion, thankfully. I wouldn't want anything else handling that kind of weight. Is just a massive coffee bar here. And there's a part of me that looked at this and went, that'd be kind of cool maybe if that was a desk. But this being a middle bunk bonus room den office model, whatever transformer meets the eye thing you want it to be, it already has a built-in kind of desk space. So I don't mind the mega storage coffee bar. We'll get back to that kitchen in just a second. This, I think, is smart, though. A lot of rear kitchens have a theater seat facing the TV, which is what we have right here. And a lot of rear kitchens have dual opposing sleeper sofas. And it's never made sense to me why I need that many sleeper sofa spaces in what is often a couples model. Now, this is not a couples model, but we have dedicated middle bunk bonus room sleeping space. So instead of 2 hide-a-beds, they gave us the one mega dinette plus a hide-a-bed plus a theater seat. To me, That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, and I commend them for basically doing what they've done. Now, let's say the coffee bar starts the kitchen. Let's start over here. We've got all solid surface counters. A lot of these outlets are inverter prepped, by the way, and wherever they could, they did put outlets down closer to countertop level. They didn't always have that option. I will say the rear wall cabinets and countertop and drawers. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of storage there, but it's not as big as the cabinets you look at on the right. Like if you just see a picture of this right here, you're thinking, holy crap, man, call the Batman. There's tons of space and cabinetry and everything going on in here. And there's plenty. But the ones on the rear wall are significantly more shallow. And give me a little bit and I'll come back and wrap through here and get all this open for you. First, I just kind of want to give you, like, we have a lot of ground to cover. I want to canvas this whole darn thing for you. Keystone does have some floor ducted heat vents. They came up with their own heat diffuser, basically, though, which it doesn't feel like a freaking deli meat slicer on your feet, you know? And it keeps junk out of those vents much, much better. Still not possible to get crap down in there, but does have some. Now, when you see a giant shiny skin fifth wheel like this, a lot of times, you know, the word luxury fifth wheel gets thrown around in there. I've been guilty of it. You know, it's just kind of, that's the way the market talks, so it kind of poisons and pollutes your mind. This is the Avalanche edition of the Alpine family. So things like the fancier oven, the, like dishwasher prep type features, that's not what you find in Avalanche. But this thing is so darn big and nice, I think you forget that it's an Avalanche and not a full-blood Alpine, which is the swankier step-up big brother. If you're not familiar with that, maybe if you're more familiar with Montana RVs, Avalanche is kind of like high country, whereas Alpine is like full-blood Montana. That might give you a little bit more of a reference point right there. Something else I like, they didn't mount the TV all the way up against this extremely tall ceiling, and all the indirect accent lighting, it really creates a nice focal point. So when you are sitting down here at the theater seat, it feels very natural, very organic. Now the shipping strap is on place on that TV, and make sure you got that TV strapped down, because if it slides open behind that slide out, you're gonna have a problem on your hands. But the fact is that big 65-inch smart TV can pivot around to be viewed from different seating positions. The cool thing about having that hide-a-bed here and the dinette, though, is that it gives this RV multiple separate sleeping spaces. You have the front bedroom, the middle bonus room, and then, of course, this room right here. You could have, like, multiple adult-sized separate sleeping zones, which I think is kind of nice. Now, as we work our way back here, Alpine kind of does a classic thing that I've always liked, but a lot of the RV industry has moved away from, probably because it takes a lot of counter space. They give you a big farm sink and like a normal sized sink. And to give you a reference point in here, like if I stick my hand in this thing, like big pots and pans, you can actually put them in here and soak, which is really nice. Great spot for big old, I don't know, waste baskets, larger pots and pans or whatever down there below the sink as well. And again, this series does not have the big residential style ovens, but they use all the space. It is one of the larger, like 22-inch ovens, not the little 16-inch Easy Bake oven, thankfully. But the space below it, they don't waste it. But remember, we were talking about space. Like these cabinets over here on the right side of the screen are a little bit bigger and deeper than the ones on the rear wall. Let me get the camera swung over here. I'll show you exactly what I mean. They're super wide. And I love the fact that with all the cabinet doors, they're fully enclosed and kind of protected. But to help give you a reference point, I grabbed the owner's packet and shoved it back there. So they're not, I would say, like full residential size, dinner plate size cabinetry. Now, I mentioned earlier how under the sink would be a good wastebasket space. I forgot that this company has gotten much, much better about that. They've already created a dedicated space for that, which I think is really, really nice. And as you can see, some solid drawer space there. Again, those 3 drawers right there are going to be a little bit bigger than the ones on the rear wall. But again, they're not bad. Notice too the power outlet locations back here. This is fairly shallow I don't know if I'd just make that a phone charge station. I could see this over here, though, being the coffee maker corner or like an electric griddle or something like that. I could see working out here. Sometimes people ask me, what is this thing in my video? This is the lock that keeps the refrigerator doors from swinging open on this residential fridge. Now, this is a large Samsung residential fridge right here. Historically, I want to give you two sides of this coin. I always try to be candid. Historically, did not like the service records that I saw from the Samsung residential fridge installed in RVs. I will tell you, the information I just shared is slightly outdated. I don't have a lot of current experience with these. They may have improved significantly, and I don't really have a good current and accurate frame of reference. So I would ask existing RV owners who have purchased an RV within the last 5 years, they have a Samsung residential fridge. What has your experience been? And let's actually hear straight from potential owners. Now, you haven't really seen a vertical pantry. This company does a lot of this where they'll do these horizontal pantries a little bit with the double slide open drawers. And you might hear this magical little tune. That's the refrigerator going, hey, dummy, you left me open. And, what are we doing? Trying to cool the entire neighborhood, as Dad would say. Anyway, just about tripped on, I don't know, a drawer or something. It occurs to me, we should probably manipulate this dinette a little bit for you.
I don't know how long this is, but it's long. I think this is like 8 foot long. It is a big, big sleeper right there. And you still have the big panoramic windows over that, but thankfully do have the blackout roller shades to sort of blot that sun out if you are so inclined. Working our way up to the middle room, which, again, mid-bunk, office, bonus room, but with the cool little snack attack desk, and you're going to see what I mean by that. So first of all, I left the desk slid out, so okay, spoiler. Then again, I already showed it in the fast flyby footage, so no big deal there. We have a trifold sleeper sofa down below, which, by the way, I noticed these sleeper sofas have something kind of cool on them. I thought it was just weird stitching. It's actually... Open up. It's actually a little pocket, so you can keep phones and remotes in there. Wow!
That was kind of smart. I've not seen something like that on an RV before. On an RV before. There we go. On an RV. I'm so stupid sometimes. But what's nice is they didn't put a loft in this model. I've noticed a lot of people are not seeking loft spaces, especially in mid-bunk models. Instead, they're saying, just give me a flip-up bunk on top, and as you're seeing, it does include the ladder to potentially get you into that upper bed, but people are just wanting to have the ability to sleep a couple people in here without the loft. I think that it creates more window space. It greatly simplifies the heating and cooling aspects of this middle room right here. And just like we saw in the living room, that can open up into an extra sleeper. But if you're sitting on that, you don't even necessarily need to flip up the upper bunk. If you leave this thing right here, because they didn't have to squish it down into an under loft space, an adult-sized person can sit right up. So, like, if someone's sleeping but somebody else is down here, they want to sit up and play on their phone, read a book or whatever you can, and check out all the airflow windows that we have in this thing, which also still have the blackout roller shades as well. Now, this upper bunk can pivot and get out of the way. Let me give you a quick look at that. I'm sure it's not anything beyond what you already imagine. It's not like, oh, it's a cool new flippy flip kind of system. It's not. It's normal, but it works. Technically, there is one floor heat duct in this room, but you might notice it's not in any sort of walkable space. It's actually just over to the left beside the door. Now, this black box is that cool, what I'm calling little snack attack mini fridge. It's basically like a fridge, I think, or freezer. You can set it to kind of whatever temp you want. Like right now it's set to 37 degrees. But I think it could even become a little popsicle pocket storage kind of situation. I will say, though, they built this storage all the way up to the ceiling. Like, all the way up to the ceiling. You are going to need a ladder to get to the top of it. If you want to, you can put a big old TV. I'm going to guess probably a 40-inch TV or something right there across from it. But as you're also seeing, if you need a little mini desk space, that top kind of slides open and can create some handy extra little functions. So backing out, sliding out of here, kicking stuff, apparently. No real dedicated shoe space, but because they went with the we're gonna pretend they're floating steps kind of setup, you could slide some shoes or some flip flops or something in there. I do appreciate the built-on grab handle. People used to add these, well, try to add these aftermarket all the time, and they would screw them over here into the sidewall. The problem is it's a laminated wall with nothing but block foam for a screw to bite into, and you can imagine how well that would work. Holy crap, dude, that's a massive window over on the right-hand side here. So, yeah, you can definitely see where you're going. Now, I don't personally prefer the dual entry bedroom bathroom. It's not that it's without benefit necessarily. It's just not my personal preference. The space here around that toilet is very fluffy friendly. But one thing you might notice is I pull a drawer out and sniff the wooden dowel rod there. Basically, what they did here is they built in the toilet paper roller. So your toilet paper would actually come out of this little slot, and then you just replace it when you need to. And I think this can hold like 4 extra rolls. So like, 1 in the chamber, 4 in the magazine, essentially. I normally don't open a lot of storage live on camera like this, but I'm already bent halfway over here looking at this. And if I'm not mistaken, this is one of these, awesome slide open storage solutions. I'm a sucker for that. I love it when the storage comes to me instead of having to go elbow armpit deep to get to the storage. You just don't have to deal with that here. There's one thing, like I can deal with the dual entry bathroom. I know that's not everybody's preference. I can deal with that. There's one thing I just personally do not agree with in a big fifth wheel this size, and that is the little laughable small fan. It is theoretically sufficient for what it needs to do in this room. I just would prefer a bigger one. That's just me. Headroom in the shower is not a problem. Now, I think my head was kind of in the skylight, but I never felt enclosed at all. And you see me pointing at the shower head there. This is an Oxygenics, normally aftermarket shower head that they're now including from the factory. Like if you get on Amazon, that's the #1 bought shower head replacement by RVers, built right on factory standard, which I think is cool. And you might have noticed that is a seamless shower enclosure right there. And the trick is, with this bathroom, the second door is going to come in handy so I can show you the rest of the storage. And you get a little peek of me creeping around the corner looking at you in the bathroom. But yeah, just a mirror on the wall, but enclosed storage right next to us. That can be some serious Lipitorage storage galore right there, not to mention down here below. I would say under the sink I'm going to knock them for not having a wastebasket space, but remember, we already have a built-in wastebasket area. Now, as we come around the corner over here, it's easy to miss, but right on the face of the slides, they have some inverter prepped outlets right there. Today we are looking at the king bed. If I'm not mistaken, they do still have a queen option. Oh, God bless America. I've done that 3 or 4 times. That bathroom door is wood. It's not just like cheap particle board like a lot of them are, and I'm not used to that in the RV industry. I'm not proud to say that, but that's true. And I have unintentionally slammed that bathroom door about 4 times making this video, nearly crap my pants. And you don't want to do that outside of the bathroom. Trust me. Ask me how I know. Anyway, we're looking at the king bed today, but I do believe there's a queen option-y, swaption-y kind of thing. By the way, these air conditioners actually have a residential grade air filter on them. So if you're camping in places that are super dusty, lots of allergens, just crappy, cruddy air, you can help kind of improve that and control it. If I remember right, I think Alpine, full Alpine, actually has TVs in the bedroom. This being an Avalanche, that would still be, kind of accidentally sort of half fell onto the bed here, so we're just going to roll with it. If you're laying in bed, this is what you would be looking at right here. I know that's instrumental in your purchase decision, but I'm going to turn chicken poop into chicken soup. If I fall down, we're going to find a way to make it useful and beneficial in the moment. And kind of like in the middle bunk bonus room, some pretty serious dresser capacity here. The ones closest to us I don't have fully open, but the ones in the background there I obviously do. We are prepped and ready for a stackable washer dryer if you are so inclined. And with this being a wide body RV, you have a little more closet space than some other things would potentially have. And I nearly clocked them in that closet because I noticed that they had that light above the shelf. But then I discovered, thankfully, they had an extra light below that shelf so you could also still see your clothes as well. And that's important, I think, because if it's dark in the morning and Uncle Gary pulls out his pink socks with his purple sundress, he is just fit to be tied and unpleasant to be around. But I think we all understand that. I do want to point out real quick, the bed base is 60 inches wide. It's queen sized. The bed decking is RV king size, 70, 72 wide, something like that. They're both 80 inches long. So if you prefer to swap this into a residential queen, all you got to do is shave down a little bit of the decking under the mattress right there. Easy. And okay, so I like to close the slides and show you road mode. I don't know what the deal is. This RV is not cooperating. The bedroom slide closed absolutely just fine. This is your upper deck slide is a Norco exact slide system. So this is an electric separate cable slide system, whereas everything else downstairs is all on the hydraulic slide system. But for whatever reason, like I can hear the relays clicking on the command system, but they're not doing. What I can also tell you, assuming I don't fall backwards down the stairs, is I don't know that it matters much, because when the lower deck slides are closed on this one, you're going to get cut off right here. You're not going to be able to get to anything back there. The refrigerator, all that is lost. And when this bunk room slide is closed, you could open the door and get in here and toss in a duffel bag, but this slide system is not one that you should be using and occupying while it's retracted. So this is an RV that is awesome when you get there, but it is not made for travel stops. And if you appreciate, we take the time to showcase that for you. Hit that subscribe button, and I'm going to call it a day. Wait, no, I'm not. I got to go outside. Oh, God, I'm tired. Now, in terms of size and towing, I'm sure that that unless you're visually impaired, you don't need me to tell you this thing it's on the size class of a behemoth battleship. You know, it's 43 feet basically, which is still not the biggest fifth wheel out there, but she ain't small. And over 14,000 pounds empty. You're in diesel dually country here, ladies and gentlemen. I just don't feel okay recommending personally anything less than that. Now, the thing is, sometimes an RV's greatest liability is also its greatest asset. It's a little bit bigger and heavier because it's a little bit bigger. It's wide body. This is 4 inches wider than a common standard fifth wheel. Now, wide body fifth wheels have become far more common. I want to give Open Range some credit. They're one of the first ones that kind of made that a cool mainstream thing. But Alpine, Avalanche, right in that wide body hunt. Look at the awning space on this. It's got about an acre of awning coverage. It's awesome. There's so many RVs where, yeah, they might have big awnings, but there's so much crap under them where you can't use the awning. This one doesn't have that problem. This one does not suffer from that deficiency. 6-point hydraulic auto leveling. I couldn't imagine anything lesser than that going on an RV like this, because you got the big front drop frame, all the weight and everything. You need the strength of that hydraulic 6-point system to keep it steady and, frankly, just to level it the way that it's supposed to. The drop frame does mean we have a monster storage compartment here. They do something I actually really like. We'll see a better look of it when we get to the other side of the camper. You've got that enclosed docking center, which is normal, but they do 2 separate baggage doors, one exclusively for the docking center, which, God forbid you spring a leak or something, it just keeps it more contained. That's the thing that I like about it. Your magnet holdbacks also have like a little lock latch mechanism, so these things on a windy day won't drop and crack you on the head. I've seen that happen to people. I've had it happen. It freaking hurts. So not having that happen, I'm all for it. Now, this I think is interesting, and I'm frankly kind of in support of it. They did not force a griddle, because there are some really nice outdoor RV cooking griddles out there. But the problem is a lot of the suppliers who provide griddles and cookers for the RV industry, their products suck. So Alpine didn't force you into a crappy cooker that not everybody wants. If you want a cooker, you can bring one. And there is an outside grill hookup as well. I also kind of like this. The bigger entry handle, that's nice, but a lot of fifth wheels have that. But just the bigger paddle, Flappy Doodle 3000 right there, technical term, on that door, just makes it easier, you know, coming and going on it. This is also very high gloss fiberglass. Like you can clearly see the reflection of that Keystone rain over there when I get it off the graphics. It's a very sharp looking exterior. This I thought was also kind of brilliant. Remember that coffee bar that we saw inside? It hides basically a picnic table storage slot. That is really handy because the thing is, there are critters at campgrounds who will do all sorts of disgusting things on a public picnic table. And sometimes those critters take human form and they'll sling their sewer hose across a public picnic table. If you didn't know it, now you do. That's a real thing, and it's absolutely disgusting. So having your own picnic table, kind of nice. You want to put your own sewer hose on your own picnic table, be my guest. I don't care. Public picnic table, that's disgusting. I don't like you. I don't care who hears it. I feel that way. I'll die on that hill. Oh, I forgot about this. The plug hookup over here actually has a little bit of a circuit analyzer. So you plug in, you got a bad ground or anything like that. It will tell you right away. But green means go. Green means you got clean power. You are good to go. You got that the ladder to get you up there to that walkable roof, of course. Now, by default, up on the roof, you'll see, well, your normal air conditioner shrouds and all that crap. But you'll see a 220 watt solar panel. Just a little battery tender. They do offer much larger packages, though. And we can always DIY you a total custom solar roof if you wanted us to at Bish's RV. Trick with this floor plan, though, with having so much length with a kitchen dead on the tail and then a bathroom near the front, it's a two-headed sewer monster. Just no way to avoid it. Back here, this is your kitchen gray outlet. Then in the front, you'll have your dedicated bathroom black and gray. That's also part of the reason the gray tank capacity on this looks on paper out of control as compared to the other ones. Now your underbelly, it is enclosed, forced air heated, radiant barrier, tank heaters, 0 to 100 degree rated, tested, proven. And I can say that because Keystone actually has their own testing chambers. You might not realize this. There are so many RV manufacturers. This is insane what I'm about to say. The norm in the RV industry is manufacturers don't ever actually test their cold ratings or hot ratings. They just make you a promise that maybe works, maybe doesn't. Keystone is capable of doing their own testing. You might notice that's an on-demand water heater right there, by the way. And as we wrap our way around here, you can't really see it, but this does have that Road Armor suspension package and pin box combo to give you some decent ride and handling. By default, the front compartment's going to just be empty, like we're looking at here, just for cargo purposes. But if I get up close, you'll probably be able to see, even on camera, some perforations in the bottom of that, because if you want to, you can get it generator prepped, or you can actually go ahead and just get a full-on generator installed straight from the factory level. Now, we can assist you with that. Like if you're looking at one of these at one of our stores and it doesn't have a generator and you're like, I need a generator, we can do it aftermarket. I haven't priced it out lately. I'm willing to bet it's gonna be at least $8,000, give or take, but it could be done. So if you like what you see, let me know. And if you don't like what you see, well, let me know that too. And if there's something else you'd like to learn about it, leave me a note. Maybe I can either work that into future videos or just offer you a quick answer right there. If you're kind of curious to know what it might set you back, double check the links in the video description. You can see pricing and availability. I'll also look up some other mid bunks or giant rear kitchens. If you're like, I like that kitchen, but I don't want bunks, I got a couple options for you on that too. If I forget to do that, because sometimes by the time I record this footage versus when I put it out, a lot of time has passed and I forget what I had going on in the old noodle up here, leave me a note, let me know, I'll get it figured out. Till next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.